everyone, and welcome back to the BullParagon channel, where my goal is to bring you the simple and effective trading strategies that I use on a day-to-day basis. We talk a lot about indicators, about strategies, about some custom scripts that we create in the Knights of the Roundtable Discord working with the team. And of course, as always, none of this is investment advice. This is just collaboration and sharing. Everybody's responsible for making their own decisions with their own money, making their own trades. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get into this a little bit here. We've got a few things that I've added recently into my trading over the last couple of weeks. Few different scripts, a few different ways. I've been using some scripts from the past as well. And I'll start with a little bit of feedback that I received about the candles. The candles you're seeing on your screen are obviously being painted by some indicators that are working in the background. Um, these candles, for a while, I had painting red and green for bearish or bullish, and got some feedback that it was a little confusing for people when they're looking at these candles versus standard candles. So what you're seeing here is we have hollow bodies on the way up. We have full bodies for candles that are moving downward. And then we've got indicators that work in the background that paint these candles for us based on if we're in a bullish or bearish trend. So when you see these types of candles in the Knights of the Roundtable Discord, when you see my post on Twitter, there are a few different types of candles that I have used and have played with that have anywhere from 1 to 3 different indicators built into them that will help give us that confluence of what direction we feel we're going based on the combination of indicators. So what I'm starting to do is give different colors to different candle sets. So if it's a one indicator set like this one is, I'm sticking with the yellow and the magenta for my colors. I've got another set that has multiple indicators to it where I'm using a cyan color, a purple color, and a white color for a neutral candle, where that set has a neutral candle based on if only some of the conditions are met. So you'll see that going forward. And of course, if you ever have any questions about which candles or which sets of indicators I'm using as I post something, always ask in the Knights of the Roundtable Discord. I'm in there every day. I'm in there almost every night. Always there to answer questions and to make sure we're steering in the right direction. So I'm going to get into it a little bit and show these indicators and how I'm using them and how I'm using these candles in multiple time frames. And then, of course, as always, there will be a second video for the premium subscribers who are paying for the premium channel. In that second video, I'll have a full breakdown with the scripts. I'll explain exactly what combinations go into the different candles, and I'll also break down things like the trend channels that you're all familiar with. You've seen several videos in the past on the trend channels, which will show if we are in a call pattern or put pattern and how we're trending in that channel. So we're looking at ES right here. It's after hours right now for standard stocks. It's 9:30 at night. ES is still active in trading. Of course, this is futures. So this is always good for the demonstrations to show something that is live. Um, as we look at this, we see this morning that this is today, December 29th. Early this morning, as regular trading hours started, we jumped into the call channel right away, and you'll see that my purple candles, which show bearish, were still showing purple early in the morning. And here we go, by about 9:36, 9:39, we turn into a yellow candle while we're in the call channel. This gives me two bullish signals that says this is time to look at, hey, we're moving up. And sure enough, when this candle closed here at 38.45.63, we were into the call channel with bullish candles. And again, even with these downward moving candles, we stayed in our call channel and we stayed with our yellow candles to confirm that we're going up. Two good solid indicators together to rule out the noise of these downward moving candles while we still went up. This position would have ended if you exited your calls right here on the first purple candle, and that's going to be at 38.67. So we had a nice solid move there, and it was a good one. Usually that first move of the day that we get the confirmation of both together, that first move of the day is usually the best one. Now, we stayed in the call channel all day, and we would have stayed out of our calls here because we had our purple candles showing that we're moving in a possible downward direction. And even when they started to come back up, we waited till we got a yellow one before we moved back into this. Now, these secondary moves sometimes are bigger than the first move, and sometimes they're smaller. Today, we had a lot of smaller moves. We had a lot of chop, and this is part of the reason why we look for at least two confirmations in our trading. If we would have taken this purple here when we turned purple, still in the call channel, we didn't lose our bullish momentum completely because we were still in the call channel. That's why I like to have the double there when we look at to see which direction we're going. Now, again, here we had a bullish move up on a yellow candle in the call channel. This one would have been a fail, but it would have been a small fail. And the key here is important is having big losses. Or sorry, as important as to have big gains, it is important to have small losses. So even though we would have been in at 38.81.68 here, we would have been back out at 38.77.41. That would have been a much smaller loss, all things considered, than what some others would be. Um, Again, as we go through and look, this was the trading day today. We're looking at a 3-minute chart here. And then as we get through here and start to look, ES obviously resets at 6 p.m. when the new day starts. So when we look, we had some time early in the trading. We were in the put channel with our purple candles, and we didn't have some great moves. Now, with for me for trading, if I'm trading futures, I don't like to do a lot for the first 45 minutes or an hour. There may be a big move and I might miss it, but I don't like to do a lot that first 45 minutes or hour once we get to 6 p.m. Eastern time. Till about 7, I'll usually sit out. And then for the trading day itself, when we're talking about trading intraday, I don't make a lot of trades between 9:30 and 10. I'll usually wait till about 9:50, 10 o'clock for things to settle down. And again, I might miss that first big move, but for me, I like to watch any open positions I have and see if there are exit opportunities or to see what's happening with those open positions. And then I kind of let the market settle. A lot of days we'll have that big move or even a couple of big moves that happen early. And if you're not lightning fast and you're not trying to get in for just a couple of minutes and get out, then it's really easy to get upside down on one real quickly. So um, the area between the channels here, as we see a lot of action tonight between the channels, I refer to this as the chop zone. This is an area that I don't like taking new positions. So you see here we had some yellow candles, and even though we were in the put channel, we don't like to take them. I still don't like them as we break into this chop zone. Now up here, I might like it because these tend to typically hold. This one didn't, and we came right back down and lost the channel. Our candle stayed yellow, but we lost the channel. I'll use this bottom ridge of the channel as my stop loss area. So I want to buy when I'm up in the solid green, and I want to sell in a stop loss if we're down this channel. And if it's early, if this is a one candle in and next candle down, probably would have gotten out here, especially when it came down and touched. The candle closed down, may have looked at getting out here, and this is why, because we'll get into this chop zone and then down below. Now here on this candle, we get back into puts. You had a good move here. The next candle came up, but it stayed purple, and sure enough, we held the zone. We didn't lose the chop channel. We got darn close here. Might have looked at exiting, but if we held this, we ran strong and hit this all the way down below the lowest ridge. Now, once we get down below with our channels, I like to consider exiting as we come back up. So if we got down this low and came back into the purple and above it, I would have considered exiting that position, waiting to come up and touch and start to come down again. Now it's been really choppy today. I haven't placed any trades. I haven't been doing a lot of futures trading lately. I usually just focus on intraday so I can be working on my back testing and my scripts in the evening. But I just want to show a little bit with the channels, how I'm using it with the candles. I'm going to break down a few other things here as we look forward and show you now on a daily chart. Um, Again, we're looking at ES here and we'll look at some different tickers, but on a daily chart, I'm using these candles now with the volume profile. And Spectre over in the Knights of the Round Table Discord has been using the volume profile a ton and really helping me dial it in. So as we look out here on a daily chart, we're going to see these moves that are pretty darn solid. I mean, we get these purple candles, which are again our signal for bearish, and they might go up slightly right away, but these are usually where they catch our big bearish moves. And here again, we get our yellow, which signifies bullish, and we had some chop and it failed and it came down. So I mean, they're not always perfect. We are going to get some losers in every trade and every system, but These candles catch a lot of the big trades. And if we close on a yellow candle, even if we came down right away, we may have added or we may have exited the first and added others as we went. But look at these moves that we catch. I mean, these are typically going to catch huge patterns. And you guys, I don't go through and buy on the first candle that says purple and hold it through the whole thing. I'm still making my intraday trades, making some swing trades, but I use this to show my overall direction. So I'll look at this on multiple time frames and see how these candles are painting in multiple time frames to see the overall direction. Of course, on the daily, I mean, we'll look at this with SPY just like we do ES. They're going to run pretty consistent here, but I have been playing puts on SPY for a week and a half now because we've had the purple candles and we've been in the pattern. Now, the pattern hasn't been strong. It's been pretty flat here the last, 10 days or so, maybe 7, 8 days, but it's been still in the bearish setup. So I'm passing on the call opportunities and I'm taking the put opportunities. Now, what we look at here and what Spectre's introduced to me is the volume profile. And the volume profile is a standard script in Thinkorswim. There are several adjustments you can make to it and ways you can look at the volume profile layered onto each day in your lower intradays or have it off to the far side like this. I'm liking it off to the right. It's something, again, that's new to me, but it gives us a point of control, which is this red line here, which shows our highest volume levels and shows us that, hey, if we do start moving up, if we start to break through here and start moving up, we're going to look at a 396 is our range roughly that has a point of control, a lot of movement to it. Now, it might work as a magnet that price draws up to that, and it might be hard for price to break through that. So just something to consider. One of the settings that we'll use here is a 90-day 30-minute to look at this as well. And I'm just going to zoom in on some recent stuff here so we can look recently at it and see where our volume profile is. So again, our point of control is about that same spot, that 395, 396 area. But now we're seeing some volume levels in the current area where we're at, right here in our 383 range. And then we see some different points to the downside as well. So I might look at 376 as an area to watch. And I might also look down here. We've got our line at 371 where it's drawing us the range. We get below that, 368, 367. These could come into play mid-January if we really start breaking down, if this really holds. Um, I'm going to bring this over now that we've looked at it with the volume profile and show you as well. This is my main chart that I look at when I'm doing my evening research. When I'm looking for stocks, whether through scans, through things that we bring up in the Discord, when it's things I've just been watching that I've been in for a while, this is something that I make sure to look at every day when I'm making my list of what I want to be focusing on for the next morning. So I will come in here and I will load up different tickers that I've either been playing lately, I have positions on, or again, something I want to watch. And we're looking at these on daily candles. And what I'm doing with this is drawing a dynamic support resistance line with these same candles. And what I'm going back to is the swing high or swing low before the last color change. So SOXS, which is a 3 times leveraged bear ETF on semiconductors. This has been one of my main plays over the last week. This was a call out from Penny Gillette in the chat in our Discord. Um, Once we got to that point where we got to yellow candles, I came back to the low of the recent swing low and started an anchored VWAP. These are anchored VWAP lines and started off of that day at the close of the day, and now that's my point. And as we get one that comes down and touches it or nearly touches it, I'll consider drawing a second anchored VWAP off of that one that makes the touch. So where we get a clearer one is down here on Chevron. So Chevron showed us just 3 days ago that it switched to a bullish candle. I took calls at the end of this day. And yesterday on the second day, we came down and touched what is the secondary anchored VWAP that was off of the last time that the original VWAP was pierced from the swing low. And we came down and touched it. And that's now my new um, closer anchored support resistance line. So we came down, touched it yesterday, and came back up. And as we came back up, I added another call. And as we came today and we opened right above that line and started moving up, I added yet another call. So as we go through and look out at these and we say, hey, sometimes these moves happen for weeks and months, we've come through and we've hit our support level, tested and held, and it's been pretty steady. I feel confident adding to my calls. Now, I'm not saying that every time we're going to see these same types of moves where we see these big runs, but we might. And as long as I've got momentum at my back and pushing me, I'm going to go with it. Now, if we come in tomorrow and we break that line, we're going to look at exiting. Again, SOXS has been great for me for the last week plus, but we came down, we broke that line today, and now I'm looking for it to get back above that for the next one. So that 40.15, which looks like roughly where our line is, could very well start above that tomorrow, and then it's going to be green light, it's go time. I mean, it's something that we'll watch those levels closely. And as we get past that level with volume and momentum, it's something that we're definitely looking at. So, um, I know you're looking at these charts and saying, hey, one of these doesn't look the same. These are relative strength charts up in the top left. I've had videos highlighting just these in the past. I love to have this chart that shows the main ETFs on one of my screens at all times. It's something that I'm always looking at throughout the day. And I'm highlighting here the 8 ETFs that I watch the most. And that's something that I want to see how they're comparing to each other for relative strength and weakness. And sure enough, when we look back, I'll have this set on a 1 hour for 5 days. And when we look back and see, hey, we had a breakdown here, ARKK, it broke down below the others while things were kind of moving up, kind of flattish to moving up, and ARKK was moving down. Now, if we caught that entry here 4 days ago at 12:30, anywhere from 11:30, 12:30, there was a dynamic move here where ARKK had a hard drop, harder than the rest of the market. Now, everything else started to drop too, but because this was leading and broke away, it broke harder. And that's usually a good sign. And that's why I like to keep this up. Now, we're looking here to see today at one point, our XLE, which is our energy, did start to break away and had that move. It would have had our attention here. And again, when I added to Chevron, we were seeing XLE move up and start to break away to the upside, and Chevron had come and bounced off that level. That's why I took that next call today. Now it started to dip down a little bit at the end of the day, and you guys, it's the last 2 days of the year. There's been a lot of covering already, a lot of rebalancing. The last 2 days of the year, probably the first couple days of next year, I'm going to be going a bit lighter on positions, going to be watching and observing a bit because we are going to see some, spikes out of nowhere. You're going to see some real low volume and then a spike, and it's going to be some inconsistencies. So I'm not putting a ton of weight into positions. I'm not putting a ton of weight into every little thing that we're seeing, but we're still watching and staying true to our systems and watching behaviors. So and again, you guys, these are all daily charts. One more I'll bring attention to here is MU. This is one that obviously we got our purple candle back on 11/28, went back to our swing high in 11/15 and anchored that VWAP. And you can see we came and touched it. We had a little bit more move down. We came and touched it again, pierced it, and came back. We set that next anchored VWAP here, and we've respected that dynamic line all the way down, including today. We came up and got close to it, closed real close to it. This really has my attention. And as we're watching the chips and as I'm continuing to watch my SOXS, this is something that I'll probably have a screen loaded with just all chips on these 8 boxes. So I'll probably go through and set a new relative strength here that has just the semiconductor stocks. So they're all here. You have your 8 main ones, with my main line being the SOXQ or the SMH, which are the 2 main ETFs that follow, and then have individuals for all of these. And what I'm looking for there is if we have this whole screen with just semiconductors, or you have one that has just energy and has them all comparative together, now when the whole group makes a move, you can see which one is leading, whether we're going to the upside or the downside. And you can also see how many of them are getting close to those resistance bands and those resistance levels. And if they all start to break through, we might have an overall direction change. It might be worth paying attention and watching where we're going with something. So, I'm going to move on from this one a little bit here and get over and just recap on the basic screen. This is something that you've all seen from me before. It's in the videos. We're back on ES again here because this is active, and we're looking at where our channel is now. So we're coming up out of the put channel here lately, and we've still got yellow candles. Boy, we've got some upper wicks here on these candles, but we haven't broken into the call channel yet. So we're not seeing that confirmed strength that we're looking for yet, but we are seeing some good things. Again, here, this is going to be a 3-minute on the left chart. The next chart is going to be a 5-minute. And on this chart, I'm going to use a yesterday's low, a yesterday's close, and a yesterday's high. These are the dotted lines. When I'm looking intraday at any positions that I'm in or anything I'm considering taking, these are the 4 charts that I'm looking at. So we're going to go 3-minute on the left, 5-minute, 15, and 30-minute. And most of the items here, other than the EMAs and the lower studies, are pretty static. So we're going to look at this and we're going to notice that the purple lines and the white lines, respectively, are 200 EMA and a 50 EMA. And those are consistent on all of my charts. When I look at a 50 is going to be white, a 200 is going to be this magenta or purple color. It's actually magenta when you look at the scripts. What we go from there is I get to the 15-minute. This is an orb box. This box goes through and charts for me the pre-market hours and the first 30 minutes of the day. I told you I don't like to trade much before 10 a.m. So when my orb box colors, it's giving me the pre-market through 10 a.m. Some people will use this just for pre-market. I like to have mine with 10 a.m. because that's kind of my pre-market. I'm not looking really for trades before then. So if there's some craziness that happens and price drops way below at 9:35 and shoots back up, I want that to be counted for my orb box, not my regular trade box. But that's just a way that I'm looking at it. But again, we see that the candles are painting based on the trend and changing throughout the day. So here with ES, right at 3 o'clock, we started to have these candles change colors and move down. Now, we didn't get a big dynamic move, but it was enough to show that this pattern had ended and how it was flatlined for quite a while there anyway. I mean, that was pretty darn flat. Now we get to the 30-minute here, the last chart on the right. These are the SADI levels. A lot of times in our Discord, you'll hear these referred to as ATR levels. SADI has these built based on a couple different factors, but there's an ATR factor to it. I always just refer to these as the SADI levels. SADI is a great trader out there. He has his own Twitter, his own website. He has his own Discord trading group. I got a lot of respect for the studies and indicators that he builds. This one is available on his website, and you'll find the most up-to-date, latest versions there. So um, just a shout out to Sadie there on that one. So with all that said, you guys, I am going to build a second video for this. I'm going to get into exactly what makes up these candles. I'm going to go back and cover the trend channels again because it's been a little while since we've done a run through on that one in the videos. The specifics that show you exactly what the scripts are made of and what goes into creating these will be available for the premium subscribers only. And if you're wondering how to become a premium subscriber, you're going to see a link in this video in the comments. I'm sorry, in the description, that's going to show an invitation to the Knights of the Roundtable Discord. This is our Knights of the Roundtable Discord. This is where we have all of our intraday talks. You guys can see it is 10 o'clock at night, and these guys are still going. Topsky and Mountman are two of our top traders. They're always in here, always talking. You'll find the Knights are extremely active in here. You see Chiefs typing right now. Spectre looks like he might be sleeping. I don't know what's up with that guy, but you're going to see a ton of activity and a ton of great content in the Grand Hall. That's our main trading chat where you see all the intraday talking, the collaboration. You'll see a lot that goes on in here. And as we go from top to bottom, you're just going to see, you'll start out in the welcome chat. It'll drop you in. You'll say hello. You have to prove the terms and conditions saying you agree to that, like everybody else who's come in. Then you find the different categories. Again, Grand Hall's the main. We keep a calendar that has events. We do some different challenges and contests here. We've got a futures channel. We've always got things set up for earnings. Got some different bots that track some different folks on Twitter and share some different news sources with us. So you have some different news bots that pull in information for us. Then as you get down here, you'll see a nights channel where some of the nights will have specific channels. This premium access is where you'll come to sign up for mine. So this premium access will have a link where you can come in and sign up for my channel. And once you sign up and are in, you will get full access to all of my scripts, all of my videos. You'll have links to my back testing so you can see some back testing on some of the different setups that I've run. The previous videos will be here. There's a ton of information that I share in here and keep current for you all. So there's a lot here. Come in and check it out. So you'll see updates that I'll post on some various things. One thing that you will not see at this point is a lot of call outs and picks. We don't have a pick service through my channel. If you're looking for a pick service, CJ in our group, who's one of our knights, has his Indicator Pro here, which is an algorithmic bot that pulls in a ton of picks, and you can sign up for his service as well. There's some details here when you click on the CJ personal channel, which will show you how to sign up and go over the cost for you. But this bot is pretty damn amazing. I mean, I can't tell you the last time I saw it lose. There's usually anywhere from 3 to 6 or 7 picks a day, and they are pretty darn good picks. They are spot on. So another one to check out. We'll put in some resources here, have some additional scripts that some of the traders will go in here and add some of the details in for some things they're working on. There's always a lot of content in here. B-Ride is probably the only one in here that might have more custom scripts he's put together than I have, and he posts a lot of them here just in the general chat. And then we've got our happy hour. We got our fun. There's always some funny stuff going on. The guys like their bourbon, so there's always some talk about some bourbon, some different things. So, oh, didn't mean to blow that up. Let's go back. So, again, that's where you'll find everything Knights of the Round Table. The invite link that you have here will drop you into the Knights of the Round Table. Once you get in, come into the Grand Hall, say hello, talk to everybody, let us know what your trading style is and what you're looking for. And then if you're looking for more information on my scripts and my trading style, you'll come in here to the Premium Access, click the link to go to upgrade.chat to sign up. And once you're there, it will drop you into this channel once you've signed up and have your access confirmed. So it'll drop you in. Come on in, say hello, check us out. Would love to have more people there, more people to collaborate. Um, Thank you all for watching, and look forward to that second video here in the premium channel.